Hi Capricorn, welcome to your 2017 horoscope for the year. So this is the year that you start to see the peak of the mountain that you feel like you've been climbing forever. You have been patiently plodding uphill for years, and at last, yes at last, the prize is within reach. All you have to do now is keep really cool and not come out with any overly ambitious schemes that topple over the whole house of cards. Keep playing those cards close to your chest, as some unscrupulous people could steal your best ideas from right under your nose. In your social life, you are also reserved and at times feeling like hibernating. You need this period to work on slowly creating your new butterfly self. And anyway, you don't want any distractions from the important goals ahead. The only place you're being really extrovert in and pushy is in the business world. If you're not much of an entrepreneur, and even so, you'll still be noticed for your status in some way, even if it's in a relationship on Facebook. There will be much weeding out of any dead wood that is built up in your life. You don't want any false hangers on when you hit the big time, so it's best to cut ties with them now. You want to sail full speed ahead when the winds of success hit you, so no extra passengers. The purging of old contacts will feel good, so will repurifying the body, either by having sex or not having sex. By that I mean, if there are cobwebs on your nether regions due to inactivity, then the lovemaking will revive you. On the other hand, if you've been in receipt of too many toxic love demons, then you might need to be celibate for a while. Generally, you are still recovering from the intense revelations and transformative action of Uranus square Pluto over the last few years. So be kind to yourself. Don't let partners pressurize you with over-the-top sexual demands that cross your boundaries. You are confident at work, but in your romantic life, you still feel a little tender. So let's look at the two influences of Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter in Libra until October the 11th. It's time to bask in some glory as Jupiter throws the laurel of recognition onto your head. Pushing you to get up the career ladder puts your reputation under the spotlight. Your ambition brings the need to puff up all your best points to really succeed. Jupiter's inflating influence could really help boost your credentials to the max. Unless you have a really bloated and bombastic Jupiter already, this amping up of your status should not create any jealousy or resentment. Generally, this elevated position should manifest as promotion, a bonus, or a pay rise. It's not just about the money, of course. You could change your status through becoming married also. Prizes and awards of excellence are possible, as is graduating from college. Superconfidence in your abilities will be reflected in a surge of demand for your services. The only mildly negative possibility of this transit is finding it difficult to take orders from your superiors because you feel so damn superior. Still, you will probably get the bosses to see from your elevated perspective at some point, so just be patient and they will soon catch up. Foresight is one of your gifts right now, and it's very useful in market trends, as is speculation. Any profit gained from this will not go unnoticed, so even if your tips are not taken, they will remember you were right. Resist the urge to say told you so, though. Now, Saturn is in your solar 12th house, and that will be until December the 20th this year. This could be one of the most difficult placements for Saturn if you're the type to be always starting new projects. The best period for starting anything too ambitious is not now. Patience will be learnt. No more fads and novelties. Instead, you will finally read the 5 unfinished books by your bedside and will tie up the 20 odd loose ends left over from previous years. A rest and retreat period is well overdue, since the aforementioned years have been supercharged with work and other responsibilities. You've grown up a lot and might be feeling very world-weary and old right now. It's perfectly fine to accept that we've run out of juice at some point, especially at the end of a 29-year cycle. So, don't beat yourself up about the things you didn't achieve and the missed opportunities. It's too late now to start grabbing frantically for the scraps. The energy spent is simply a waste of time. Scraps are scraps, and you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. The temptation at this time is to get very broody and depressed if you feel like a failure. But it is important that you realize there is a very bright light at the end of this 12th house tunnel. Cocooning is the best use of this time, and it is quite an active sense of preparation for the rebirth to come. So, clear the decks, say goodbye to draining connections and time-consuming projects that are not bearing fruit. Weed out everything that you do not feel enlivened and excited by. The impulse is welling up inside you, but resist pushing until you really feel you have to. You are literally giving birth to yourself, so you don't want to bust a gut against locked doors. Keep quiet and tranquil. Spend time with yourself in nature so you can tune into your own cycles. This will help you know the right moment to start pushing. Deep, deep breaths. Yes, you will be able to do it. But until this very important debut, enjoy the gestation period to its fullest. Acting premature will just lead you down those famous 12-house paths of self-undoing. Earthing yourself will strengthen your intuition while you plug your feet into the earth. The Hermit card in the tarot is your Saturn guide. So retreat into your cave and do some cave painting by torchlight. Watch the flames flicker and see what you can read from the shadows. So on to January to March mini forecast, a bit of a taster. Now we've got Lilith in Scorpio, January the 1st till February the 11th. Lilith, through the house of friendship and wishes, will sort out which contacts are on your wavelength and which are not. During this time, if you are not able to be authentic with your closest companions, then you'll get impatient and bored. The strain of keeping up a facade will take its toll and you will slowly feel yourself separating. Networking with common interest groups is recommended as a remedy. That way, Lilith will not feel exiled and alone. After February the 12th, Lilith through the mystic 12th house could be a time when fantasy and reality are indistinguishable from each other. You could be so sensitized to the undercurrents of the environment that the actual physical world is totally obscured. It seems like you are surrounded by a fog of messages received from other dimensions, combined with the thoughts of people around you. Mars is in Aries from January the 28th to March the 10th. You can put a great deal of energy into your domestic situation right now. This could be working on renovations or putting effort into moving house. There is also a big passion for your roots and motherland if you don't live in the country of your ancestors. You could have strong feelings of cultural pride and connection with the land. If the two are one and the same, then this bond will be easier. If not, then you will feel the need to learn more about your native heritage in order to feel anchored and secure. You might also feel like fighting for your land as well. The lunar eclipse in Leo on February the 11th. The lunar eclipse in the underworld of your chart is so mysterious that you might not even realize how much it has transformed you until 3 months thrice have passed. The funny thing is, others around you can see the intensity or even the gravity of events that occur around you at this time, yet you're totally blind to it. You literally are in the dark. Debt and death are not the most cozy topics for an eclipse to flood into your consciousness with. But the inky black sea of squid that flushes out just shows what has been building up in your psyche for some time. You might find you have quite a perverse desire to watch gory movies or post-mortem shows around this time. It can feel quite gut-wrenching, but at the same time cathartic, and all the angst is wrenched out of you. Yes, vomit is the word. Sorry if this is making you feel quite squeamish, but that's kind of the point. The solar eclipse in Pisces on February the 26th. The solar eclipse in your student zone zaps your brain synapses and resets all your local connections. Networks that you are plugged into get firewired into action and your mind becomes hungry for new information. At this time, you might decide to embark on an apprenticeship of some kind. You could actually go back to school or simply be called to initiate some personal study or research. Picking up new skills is highlighted, or maybe relearning something that breaks you out of bad habits. For example, you might join a new local yoga class that retrains the way you have been holding a posture for the better. Well, I hope you enjoyed that forecast. If you would like to download the full year ahead on PDF, do come down to dartstarastrology.com. That's my website. And there's also free monthly horoscopes, the full moon and the new moon every month as well. All the best then. Bye-bye.